recently came across some old pictures of my mother with me and my three siblings. As I viewed the old sepia-colored photos, I noticed that all the clothes we were wearing were made by my mother. I remember her hunched over the sewing machine late at night, determined to finish Easter dresses, white linen shorts, and a jacket for my brother. Also finding a picture of my wedding, remembering the bridesmaids and my wedding dress, hand-sewn by mother. I wondered how she managed this while being a housewife in the 50s and 60s. She spent years sewing on a treadle sewing machine that had been converted to one with an electric foot switch, hanging clothes on a clothesline, ironing, canning vegetables. My mother could draw from experiences of her childhood to help her gain perspective on the task she faced. She was raised near Leakesville, Mississippi, and her family grew cotton as a cash crop. That's my mom right there on the screen, as an adolescent at her home, her childhood home in Mississippi. She spent many a hot August day chopping cotton along with a few hired workers. Chopping cotton involved taking a hoe and moving the weak plants from between the healthier ones. She would head out to the field and see the long rows of cotton and wonder how they could ever finish. She began her task looking down at each plant, focusing on what was in front of her, little by little, choosing to avoid thinking of how far was yet to go, but focusing on the task at hand. In that context, she would say, never look up to the end of the row, just keep your head down and chop the cotton that's in front of you. In 2021, I went to Alabama to care for my sister, who was recovering from a difficult surgery. She was 9 years older than me and played a big part in raising me. We were very close. Her situation was much worse than I had at first thought. A back surgery had not gone well, and now she was deteriorating in a hospital bed, and nothing seemed to be turning things around. The outcome looked bleak, so I set about each day to make her as comfortable as possible. I focused on what could be done now, choosing not to obsess on how to change the situation. Her communication was waning, but when a new nurse came on duty, she would say, "This is my baby sister who has come to take care of me." These words reminded me just how important these tasks were, and I found strength for myself by doing the next needed thing. We may look around us and wonder how we're going to get things done, all the tasks that we have, all that is happening in the world. Can we truly affect, influence it? I remember standing beside my mother in the church singing, "Day by day and with each passing moment, strength I find to meet my trials here." We must focus on the task at hand. What is manageable for us now? My mother would make each day count. Seize the day. We've all heard carpe diem, living in the present rather than focusing on the past or the future. Sometimes it is difficult, as the present may seem overwhelming, making it difficult to maintain a productive focus. Maybe this is what the writer of Ecclesiastes had in mind when writing, "To everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under the heaven, a time to plant and a time to uproot, a time to tear down, and a time to build, a time to weep, and a time to laugh, a time to keep, and a time to throw away, a time to scatter stones, and a time to gather them. The passage concludes, there is nothing better for a person than to enjoy their work, because that is their lot. For who can bring them to see what will happen after them? This reminds me that what is most important is not the beginning or the end, but the middle, the here and now, focusing on the task at hand.